One of the things that we must take into cognizance in this call for state police, the reason why the drum is sounding so loudly, even though you have said that Boko Haram is not just a Nigerian problem, it's a global problem. But the circumstance under which this call has been made is the issue of cooperation and confidence in the police. The same circumstance that would make, say, the foreigner, or as it were, a multi-ethnic society confident in a multi-ethnic police is the same way that, say, a mono-ethnic society, it might be very hard to find, cooperate more with its own local police and tell them where, suspected people that they are looking for could be hiding.
Marco, let me tell you, but it's a discussion for another day. The reason for not cooperating with the police is located in bad governance. A we and they kind of psychology which the people have developed. The police belongs to government.
But do you think
let us be on our own? Indeed, in my area, in my village,
just 1 minute.
It is a crime is an offense to the village to report your matter to the police.
A moment. Do you think that we and they could actually come in when the people own the police, or when the people feel that the police comes from amongst them?
Good. And I'll tell you something. This police, the state police we are talking about, is going to be structured along the same line with what we have. And it is going to be for the government. Just like the regular tax collector will come into a village and they inform everybody around that, take to your heels, the tax collectors have come. They belong to government. It's not as if they are part of the people. They are going to be recruited by government. State government is still distant from the people. So don't localize it such that if a state police is put in place, then it means it is the police for the people. And also don't forget that in virtually every state, there is always some level of zonal competition. You are from this area, the other person is from this area. They are bothered about where the police chief is coming from and who is victimizing. In every civil service, local civil service, I'm talking about state, you will find out that somebody must be saying it is those from a donut that are intimidating and victimizing us and marginalizing us, even when they belong to the same state. So it is not going to take the same structure as the regular federal police. It is not like it's coming from the people. Part of why I cited that example, that in my area, it is an offense for you to take your neighbor to the police. The police station is just across the street, but you cannot do that. They want it to be decided locally. Even when the police commissioner, the police officer there is probably from your area. And you notice that Dr. Goodluck Jonathan cited examples of how they try to see if they can post people to their own area, their own local governments and all of that. And that it failed. Nobody wanted to serve in his own local government and all of that. So that is a failure of governance. It's the discussion for another day.
So you don't think that, assuming in your own locality, the example that you've given, that the people who actually manned the police station were from amongst the locals, they would feel a little more confidence in sending their matters or taking their matters to the police station?
Because they do know that if for any reason that is a failure in agreement, that they will start taking the person to another probably detention camp somewhere in the state capital, and before you know what is happening, the person has gone to Abuja. It's the same structure. So it's the same police we are talking about. But you see, if we now want to look at, my recommendation in this circumstance is that let us begin to empower the police. Let us begin to see those things that made it, I said it in my opening statement, that made it necessary for us to begin to call for the state police. Let's begin to do that by way of, first, their training, infrastructure, ethical orientation, and all of that. By the time we beef that up, we now begin to have a police which people who run to America to make comparisons will begin to compare with a situation where I was in a mall and a lady policeman was trying to arrest some young boys who were very unruly and all that. Literally everybody around, what they mean there, were around the lady policeman. Do you want some help, man? He said, no, I'll get some. By the time she spoke, because a regular police officer in the United States has a microphone that is behind, on her shoulder. About 6 or 7 police vehicles came immediately and they picked up those boys because the people are prepared to help the police because the police is part of them. The reason is that the police is protecting them. It's not like our own police that when you even ask for a direction with the police, he directs you to a place where you are going to be on a one way so that his colleague can pick you up. That's what we are talking about. And again, when we are talking about empowering the police, when Funshaw Williams died, he lives on the same street with me, and they said, okay, Scotland Yard was coming to investigate the matter. Everybody was like, okay, they'll soon grab or catch up with whoever killed Funshaw Williams. What did they do? They got frustrated. The reason is that there is no data bank. If you pick up a fingerprint, where are you going to compare it? Against what are you going to compare it? Because such things don't exist. That is why, if you notice that each time the Nigerian police goes on a course or they go on any conference, they excel. No, but you keep wondering, could this be the same police that we are condemning?
That's the question.
The reason is that there
are different levels.
Yes. The police in Nigeria, has developed what we call the sixth sense. They're almost like walking in darkness.
No,
so
but
which better than the regular police?
The lower cadre or the higher cadre?
Yeah, which level of police?
No, we're talking about the higher cadre. That's what.
But the ones that we see on a regular basis here are those in the front line.
Who don't
go for the training.
No, you see, if it will trickle down, if the higher cadre is properly treated in the sense that they are properly exposed, so that they can in turn train the lower cadre.
Mr. Eke, you've also ruled out the possibility that, there will be competition. The fact that, you will have police at different levels would make some would definitely be better than the police you see in certain states would definitely be better than the police you see in some other states. And chances are that people will keep making references to some other police and saying, why can't our own police be like that? You don't see that as one of the reasons why we should have state police?
I didn't want to use this example because it's been overused. So how much competition do they have in ISEC, the State Electoral Commissions? How much competition?
And
the governor simply orders them to do a local government election, and all the local governments are won by the party.
They say
so how much competition
is there? People who have argued against that say that elections and security are two different things. One is non-negotiable. The other one.
In fact, we got Rotimi here who says
it could be based on compromise. I stand, but that's part of the argument.
Look at this argument also.
Yesterday,
it adds up to that. I mean, Rotimi says that analogy versus state SEAC and state police is wrong because he says SEAC is partisan, while state police is for citizen protection, and so they should have two different orientations there.
No, see, at an academic level and at a theoretical level, you can say the state police is for protection. And I have told you why the governors are desperate to control the police. I've told you, it has nothing to do with protection of individuals or the safety of individuals, even though that could be the facade. That is what will be painted. Oh, for security purposes, for safety of individuals and all that, we need our own state police. But the reason for asking for a state police is utterly different from what we are talking about.
Well,
and then we're saying that, why don't we empower what exists now so that it can work well, as against having different police all over the place, and that by the time we have different police all over the place, it is going to underscore the fight for unity that we have been having all the while. It is going to work against it.